This is the Dreamers Podcast, where dreamers share their stories to inspire you. Now, join host Joe Pardo as he interviews a dreamer who's living their dreams.
Welcome to the Dreamers Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Pardo, and today I am interviewing Amy Petermann, who is living her dream by relocating to Orlando, Florida. Welcome to the show, Amy.
Thank you, Joe. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. So why don't we start by giving our audience a little background?
My name is obviously Amy Petermann. I am born and raised Wisconsin girl. I'm Midwestern. I have a husband, Craig, and my two girls are Kira and Emily, Emily, I cannot believe, will be turning 14 soon, and Kira, who will be 21 soon. And we have two puppies, and we just recently moved into a bigger home and loving it and loving our dream of living in Florida.
So let me ask, in general, what inspires you?
I would say people themselves inspire me. I'm inspired by the people out there who do phenomenal things every single day. My parents, my husband, my children, my friends, the people in my past, the people I hope in my present. I see someone do something incredible and I'm like, wow, that's just amazing. I can do that, or why am I not doing it? And so it becomes a goal of mine to just be a better person every single day by the people that I know, and 100% by my faith as being a child of Christ, and telling myself every day, what can you do today to be a better person? What can you improve on? Just go for it and have a goal every single day when I get up, to the small, to the large. That's pretty much what inspires me.
So something that you didn't mention about your background was that when you did move to Florida, you started up a blog, right?
I did. It's called the Relocated Tourist. It just turned 4 years old in February.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And it was just a brainchild. Actually, it was started by my husband back in 2000. We moved here in 2011, so 2009, I believe, or 10. The idea was born simply of my husband looking up information online, and he just could not find anything that had a collection of it on one site. There's many sites out there that have the information for their city or their suburb or whatever, but nobody had collected all of it. And he was just trying to collect just a tiny bit of it to figure out where to move and what school district, your child will be in, and it all has to connect to make it work. And basically, he collected information and we saved it. And he said, Amy, you know what? We should write a blog, and that people could follow our adventure and our journey and see where it takes us. And on top of it, it just held us accountable for our choices, our reasons, our adventure. And so that's how it came to be.
So how was your dream received by the rest of your family members, that you were starting a blog, you were moving?
At first, they were a little bit surprised. I think they knew that I love Disney immensely. We had gone on vacation there a bunch of times with both girls. They knew that we loved it a lot. And we just recently had my daughter's godmother here. She could pinpoint the day of when we were telling her back 10 years ago of, sitting in our living room talking to her about someday we will live in Orlando and we'll live near Disney and we'll get to go when we want and enjoy the sunshine and the pools. So people knew that this was coming, but a lot of people have dreams, rightfully so, but it's just so hard to make them come true. And for us, we just decided that it was time. And so parents were on board and we had a huge goodbye party. I would suggest anyone do that because that just helps that send off. You just feel like everybody's on board and they're all excited for you and they're all happy for you. We had our church there and both sides of the family all came, and grandmas, and it was so rewarding to have Emily's school, friends there and Kira's school friends there. And just the support was so helpful because we didn't leave feeling like things weren't tied up. Everything was good. And it was awesome feeling.
So what steps did you take first to get your blog started and as well to get the move going?
Well, with the blog, Craig is in IT, so he basically researched it and found WordPress, and we signed up for it. Kind of just went across the social media stream of what we could hook up with the Relocated tourist name. He thought of that name. That is all Craig. He thought of the name. And he thought of the tagline too, which is my absolute favorite. And it's going from what if to why not. We clung to that tagline because when it would get hard and whatnot, we always thought of it. So the blog was born, and actually I remember the day it went live because I was actually at a women's retreat in Wisconsin, and there was snow on the ground. And I remember just one girl was in the room, and I was like, my blog just went live, let's see what happens. And, you watch the numbers, and people start to kind of filter in. And it's crazy because of where it is now, with a book coming out, and we actually did have a reality TV show contact us about 3 months ago via email. They found the blog and they loved the idea, and they're looking for a show about people realizing their dreams. But because of the length of time that we lived here, we weren't eligible, but we had given them some names of people that we knew. So I don't know where it's gone from there, but it's crazy how big it had gotten for us. And we really weren't expecting that. We were just kind of hoping that we were going to be held accountable for our adventure, and that we were going to actually do it and let people see, the good, the bad, the ugly. And we're just happy we did it. So then to move, basically, we started a spreadsheet. I remember it. And what we needed to save and how much time we had to save and what we needed to save for, and a date. And when we first started, we were not moving until 2012 of June. But because of life and situations and a job opportunity, we were able to move it up an entire year and moved in June of 2011. So everything kind of got scrambled for a little bit, but I was very raw and honest on the blog. I talked about Craig's job and how we were excited that, should we move early? Should we not? And we almost moved even earlier than that. But we just prayed about it and decided that no, we had all our family and friends in Wisconsin at that point, and moving here without that support system, that backbone, and into the unknown and hoping that he might get some kind of job here was just too terrifying for us. So we just waited out, and God blessed Craig with an awesome job and gave us the complete green light to come. So we just saved and blogged and got rid of stuff and purged, and for that, I think it was a year and a half. And it was exciting because people read along and got into the spirit of it, and people that were moving before us were excited and after us were excited. And it was just an incredible journey to have the love and friendship there at that time. Even though you vacationed, no matter what people say, it is terrifying. So it just is. It's wonderful, but it's terrifying. So we're just blessed.
So were there any roadblocks getting started the blog and or moving that you came across?
With the blog, we didn't realize what it would do to our privacy, to be pretty honest here. I'm very honest, but I mean guttural honest here. We didn't realize that exposing our lives to the general public meant that you're a target. So it was awesome. It was very awesome, and it was great.
How did you go about overcoming those privacy issues?
A lot of praying, a lot of deciding of what we wanted with the blog. Do we want people to know about our daily lives anymore? Do we want people to... it's so hard to explain because you want people to just enjoy the adventure with you and just be like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. And I want to inspire people and make them happy and excited. And I just think it comes down to bad communication and healthy expectations of what it was. I was just a Midwestern girl with a family that decided to write about a blog about moving to Florida. And if people know of ones before us, I please let us know, because Craig searched and searched and searched. I'm sure we're not the first. We were looking for us. We were looking for a blog like ours that we didn't know that existed yet, of someone that just talked about it for the rawness of, some people just say, yeah, I moved, it's been great here. And other people, I want to hear. And that's what people really want. I really feel that people want to hear Okay, so how is the lawn care, or how is it taking care of a pool, or the bigger stuff like, okay, so the schools, Emily had school situations that were rough that we just never saw coming. And how could you even know that until you've experienced it? So for me, taking a step back and going, okay, what is the purpose of this anymore? What is the reason I want to do this anymore? And it was a phenomenal ride. It has been a phenomenal ride. And the book is like the cherry on the cupcake, I'm thrilled for it. But it's the story is, I wouldn't say coming to an end as much as that chapter is. I'm thrilled that we did it. I'm thrilled that we talked about it because we inspired a lot of other people. But I'm also thrilled that, in a sense, we're getting our privacy back.
Is there any parts of all this relocating that hasn't quite worked out for you?
I would say, like I stated, the schools, you never know. You have no idea until you experience it. And I know everybody who is listening to this, who has gone through this, is completely shaking their head, yes, because some kids can just do phenomenal in school, and you could put them in any school and they'll just flourish. And there's some children who they need more love, they need more attention, they just need that little something special that some schools down here can't provide it. We just had some incidences that, I just wish that we would have known about coming before we had come, but you can't. It's life. You just can't know it until you go through it. So I would say schools were a big one. The living area, how close do you want to be to Disney versus, that's always been a big thing with a lot of people. And I know people that have lived close to Disney like we do and didn't like it because it was too touristy. And I completely agree with that because just going to Walmart can be a headache. And when I go to volunteer or just going to the store, I-4 is just a headache. And I completely get that. But at the same sense, I do have to tell myself, well, I asked for this. I chose this. This is my choice. This is my decision to do this. So, but again, you just don't know about it until you live it. It's stuff like that, especially if you come from a big city and then come to Orlando. It's probably not going to be that much different for you. But for me, coming from a smaller city in Wisconsin to Orlando was a humongous change. And from everything from the weather to just the different cultures you're living with, a lot of people are relocators here. So you have just a crock pot, a mixture of all sorts of people from all over the world. And so it's just dealing with the different types and the different people. And it's awesome because it opened my eyes to people and things that I had zero exposure to in Wisconsin. So to me, I've seen it more as a positive, but it's something that everybody who moves here has to get used to, along with the crazy driving and the tourists and the bugs. And we just saw our first live alligator in our suburb. So yeah, it was exciting though. So it's stuff like that, but I can tell you, we'll be here 3 years soon. June 5th will be our 3-year anniversary here. And I can tell you what bothered me year 1 does not bother me now coming into year 3, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. Could you tell our listeners more about your volunteer work?
Oh, I'd love to. Without saying the place, I will just say that I work with the homeless downtown Orlando. Basically, I'm the director of a ministry that helps clothe them and hygiene. We provide shoes and we get donations from people. We're almost like a Goodwill. We have our own space downtown and they come and shop every other Thursday and we help provide whatever they need, on top of the fact that we have clients that we help once they get off the streets, get an apartment, help them with their bills. Smaller things like just sitting with them and listening to them talk or cry or pray with them. It has been an experience of a lifetime. And even though we're going into year 3 here, I still feel like this is a big reason why God has brought myself at least here. My mom actually joked that before we left Wisconsin, it would take me 3 years to settle. And I don't know if I've always just thought about that. But year 1, I thought, well, okay, the scariness is off. And then year 2, I was like, okay, I think I know what I want to do, but I'm not sure about the blog and where it's going. And year 3, I've now really felt like we found our church, we found our faith. We just found a home to celebrate our faith and meet other people. And our exposure for the last 3 years here has just been wonderful through the blog, but it has been solely through the blog. So all of my friends have been Disney friends and I love them very much, but I need to expand a bit and just get out there and meet people from church, people from my current job. And just even yesterday, I was blessed to be able to treat two of our homeless to Magic Kingdom for the day. That was, I can't even tell you, I'm going to start crying just thinking about it. So it was a magical, amazing day. And just seeing how excited they were and just to forget their troubles for 6 hours, 7 hours we were there. We went to the opening and they giggled because I knew all the words to the opening song. And I was like, well, I really like Disney World. And, we did all the things like, getting the ears and, getting photo pass everywhere. And we didn't meet Mickey. I forgot that. But it was just neat to just take them out of the world of not knowing if they were going to have a meal, for that night or that morning or afternoon. And, it was just great to take them to Cosmic Rays and be like, get whatever you want, it's on us. And it was amazing. So as much as I love the blog and I'm so excited for the book, the ministry has become a very large part of my life. I get to go to garage sales and I pick up all sorts of stuff for them now. And, people who know about it, they donate. And even new stuff, I go to the store and I pick up something that someone's really looking for. I'll go and buy it and provide it for them the next time I see them. And you just don't know what it's like when you see like 150 people on a Thursday. They're hugging you and they're crying or they're happy or someone got a job interview and we're dressing them for the first time in a suit and tie. It's so emotional. I just actually made brownies tonight I work Wednesdays to get it ready. So to me, it's just, I can't even put into words. It's my cup runneth over is all I can say.
Well, that's really, really sweet of you. And I assume your husband as well. Your whole family, to donate that much time and effort into it and take time out of your time to go and to bring somebody to Disney, two people to Disney World and treat them for the entire day just to get away from their problems. I'm sure it meant the world to them.
Oh yeah. I wish I could do it every day. I would take so many people because it's just such a stress relief, release for them, just to have that. We all have our problems and think about your problems but you go home and you go to your house or your spouse or whatever and, you can go in your kitchen, whatever, and they're going back to a slab downtown or they're sitting on a hill and that's home for them. And so to me, to be able to do that, if I could, I always joke with people, if I win the lottery, I'm just going to buy them all homes.
So we have a new question on the show, which is, if you were stranded on a deserted island with your family, what are 3 things you couldn't live without?
I would say first and foremost, my Bible, because it just gives me, which I should have said before, the number one, obviously, inspiration. But when I'm having a rough day or even a happy day and I want to praise him, I open it up and there's always just one verse that'll always just jump out. So I would have to have that to probably keep saying on the desert island with my family. Wow, so good. I'm a couponer. I would probably say something of a project or my coupons to keep me busy. I'm not a good person that just chills out. I'm usually go, go, go. So I'd have to have something to do. It's probably going to be really, really dry out there. So I'll say my stress-free lotion. That's probably the lamest answer on the planet, but it's what I want. So my Bible, some stress-free stuff, and some kind of project, something to do while we wait for people to rescue us. So
do you have any dreams for the future?
I'm excited for the book to come out. I'm so excited about the ministry. So I guess just that it becomes bigger and better and that whether it stays there, whether it goes somewhere else, whether just to continue to help people and bless them. I've just felt the call very loudly that I'm just meant to be here to help and inspire others. So whether the blog was a part of that, I hope so. The ministry is another big part. I've been couponing and getting free samples and just trying to, connect all those puzzle pieces together so that I can put forward my best foot on this ministry. So for dreams, I don't know, maybe take a vacation somewhere I've never been. I have been to Disneyland once, but Emily and Craig haven't been there. So I think we would love to go out there. I'm so happy right now that I couldn't even tell you, which is really awesome. I couldn't even tell you a dream I have right now. Just to live well and be at peace and enjoy my new home and my happy family, and that everybody is just at peace and things are different and for the better, and just keep moving forward.
Well, do you have any last thoughts for our audience?
Yes. If you're looking to relocate to Florida, I just put this recently on my Facebook page, do it for yourself. I'm thrilled to inspire you as others are thrilled to inspire you and help you, but just make sure you do it for you. And what I mean by that is that you can read stuff all the time or hear this or whatever, and they're wonderful things. They're wonderful tools. They're wonderful for research. But really just think about what you have now versus what you want to have out here. And if this is your calling and this is where God wants you, then it's where you're supposed to be. But just take the correct steps and don't push it. Give it time, really think on it and pray about it. And it will 100% come to fruition for you if it's meant to be. I just want people to come here and have a phenomenal life and not come here thinking that it's a 24/7 vacation, because it's not. We all still have, our ups and downs, but we still have to go to the grocery store and still have to get gas in our car and an oil change and kids to school and get to work and all that good stuff. And I think the misconception out there sometimes is that, well, Amy's at Disney World today, what a life she leads. And the stories that I could tell you, which will never come to air, are just that life is not all sunshine and cotton candy. And we all know that, but sometimes to hear it from someone else that has lived it, and because we've been here 3 years, I can just tell you that I've been to heaven, I've been to hell. And I can just tell you that through all of it, I have learned that the dream has been amazing. And I'm so glad we did it. I'm so glad we tried. And to go for your dreams. But I'm not going to say no matter what, because I think you have to be sensible and pray about it and think about it and talk to your friends, talk to your family, and really just get a group feeling of this is what it's meant to be and make the right choices, because I just want everyone to flourish here and to enjoy what we've gotten to do and have faith that it will all work out.
Well, thank you very much, Amy. Is there any websites, your blog, your book that you'd like to plug?
Actually, I would like to plug themeparkpress.com, my publisher, Bob McLean. The book should be out, I want to say this month, but it looks like maybe June. So just please keep an eye out for that. He's got some wonderful books on his site. Also, there is a Relocated Tours Facebook page that if you want to come over and like it, you don't have to like it to look at it. I post pictures occasionally from the parks, and I try my best to answer questions about relocation, but I am in no way an expert, and I don't believe anyone out there is as well. I think everyone is just trial and error, and we're doing our best to live the dream we want to. So try out those sites, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Amy. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Joe, for having me. I appreciate it, and God bless.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Dreamers Podcast. Follow us on Twitter @Dreamers Podcast. Join us on Facebook at facebook.com/Dreamers Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the Dreamers Podcast, please send an email to j@jpar.co. This podcast is copyright 2014 by jpar.co. On September 22, 2004, Oceanic Flight 815 left Sydney, Australia, bound for Los Angeles, and crashed on a remote and mysterious island somewhere in the South Pacific. The survivors quickly realized this was no ordinary island.
The groundbreaking Emmy Award-winning drama Lost ran on ABC television from September 22, 2004 to May 23, 2010, and remains to this day one of the greatest television series of all time. Relive every moment of this amazing series as we reopen the hatch and take you deep inside each episode of this epic series. My name is Joyce.
And I'm Al. And on our show, Lost Flight 815, we'll cover each episode of this immensely popular series in a unique way. We'll watch the show as we record and share our thoughts and lost facts while you listen to the episode with us.
So tune in to the Lost 815 podcast and visit us on the web at www.lostflight815.com and relive one of the greatest shows of all time.
And be sure to follow us on Twitter at LostFlight815.